Welcome back to Community Conversations. I'm your host, Steve Mantis, and my guest today is Charla Robinson, the president of the Thunder Bay Chamber of Commerce. Welcome back, Charla.
Thank you, Steve.
So, interesting discussion. There's so many paths I want to pursue here. So when we're talking about, in a way, planning for the future, and that in a way we're all in this same boat here in Thunder Bay. I mean, yes, we have connections out into the larger world, but our economy, in large part, is based right here. How do we promote economic development? You know, we've been involved in, the poverty reduction strategy, and part of that is, okay, how do you move from being in that lower economic realm, and so that there are opportunities for you in the community, in the community you live in, and the advantages that are going to be taking place from a range of in a ways that that economic activity is going to create. What can we do here in Thunder Bay to promote that?
Well, certainly I think a really important piece is, there's a couple of things. The first thing is we need to be a competitive community. We need to be competitive for businesses that want to start here, to be able to afford to start here. So that talks about things like rental rates or taxes or energy rates, shipping costs, all those things. We need to work to make them as affordable as possible so that we can compete in our small economy. And another thing that we need to focus on, and this is another thing that the Chamber's been starting to work on, is actually harnessing the power of the Aboriginal community. We know that the Aboriginal community is a growing community. We know that they have a large population of under 25 people. And those folks are going to be our workforce. They're going to be our business owners. They're
supporting me and my pension.
Exactly. They're going to be the people that are powering our economy. And so, we need to embrace those communities and make them feel part of our community and help them and support them to move forward. And so that's actually one of the things that we've been working on this year. We're launching a new event. It's called the Aboriginal Partnership Exchange, and it's going to be held in June. It's a one-day event, and we're going to have different speakers coming in. We're going to have some one-on-one networking opportunities. We're going to have an opportunity for businesses to exhibit, and really trying to bring the Aboriginal community and the local business community together so that they can develop relationships, they can understand each other better, and they can see what the opportunities are. There's a lot of businesses who maybe could be providing to First Nations in the near north services that those communities are perhaps getting from out of province. We know that a lot of the far north Aboriginal First Nations are sourcing their products from Winnipeg. Well, there may be businesses here where they could actually get those products, easier, cheaper, better service, because they're doing other things here where they're already coming to the community. They're already, building other business relationships. So trying to make those connections is really important. And also, the non-Aboriginal business community needs to understand what the opportunities are. If you don't know that this First Nation is looking for, to build a school, or they're going to be building roads, or they're going to be, investing in some project, then you don't know what the opportunities may be for your business, right? So bringing the people together to really have that dialogue, to develop relationships, it's a big part of growing the economy moving forward and the long-term plan for the community.
Well, I'm just going to connect some dots here, because the last show we recorded, we had a couple of profs from Lakehead University who are working on international economic development. And the one fellow really talked about building relationships, just like you're talking about, but he's doing some work in some of the northern communities, and he's saying we need to understand their needs. And so we have a growing population of people of First Nations descent who oftentimes don't feel a part of the community.
Yeah.
So for them to engage even in that process, in that discussion, there are some steps maybe that need to be taken, and wearing my other hat involved with the New Direction Speaker School, we're trying to give vulnerable adults some of those skills to be able to engage in whatever way their opportunities arise in the future. So let's partner together with that.
Absolutely.
Your June event at our Speaker School graduates who want to be involved, who want to plug in, and they're really looking for the next opportunities.
Absolutely, absolutely. Those, partnerships are so important in the North because we are so separated from the rest of the province that you really do need to bring, we can't be operating in silos. We can't be operating with walls between us. We really need to tear those walls down and become a full community where we all feel involved, we all feel engaged, and we all feel welcomed, and where we understand each other and each other's needs. And only through doing that will we be able to move forward as a community.
Excellent. We just have about a minute or so left. Is there any other items you really want to highlight in terms of activities with the Chamber, or how people might be able to get involved and plugged into some of these activities?
Well, certainly the best way to find out information about upcoming activities is on our website, which is tvchamber.ca, and we have a regular list on there of what's coming up and online registration, so it's very simple. What we've got coming up in the next few weeks, we're working with the Ontario Chamber. We're releasing our report card on the Ring of Fire. So last year we released a paper that outlined some steps that we thought the government should take to move things forward on the Ring of Fire. And so now we're releasing a report card. It's been a year. What has been done? What needs to be done? And how can we continue to move the Ring of Fire forward? So that's something that I think will be of broad interest and certainly encourage members of the community to take a look at that.
Great. All right, so we'll put that website address on the bottom of the screen. And I want to thank you very much, Charla, for joining us here today. I want to remind folks that you can also view past shows on YouTube, on the internet, if you got that internet connection there. You go to YouTube and just type in Community Conversations Thunder Bay. We have our own channel there, and pretty much all the past episodes are available there. We have a Facebook page as well, also entitled Community Conversations. We're looking for your ideas, your feedback. If something from the show today sparks your interest, maybe put a little post on there, and maybe we can get a little discussion and dialogue going around some of those issues. We're also looking for ideas for future shows. Coming up next week, I'll have Dennis Brown, the mayor of Atikokan, on as my guest. Look forward to seeing you then. Thanks so much, and have a good week.